Hey you! Have you ever looked at a video game and thought, wow, I wish I could make something like that? Well, lucky you, I have just a game in store for you. Rage! So I already had a script out and read for this, and the audio was edited and about to be implemented into the video, but I was I was listening to it today, and I realized, hey, this kind of sounds like crap, so instead of doing a script, I'm just gonna spew my thoughts into BandLab and then import the audio into CapCut and then put it into this video. So yeah, I hope you enjoy my dumb ideas. So school, you know that place, right? The place that almost seems like prison? So we had a project, right? And said project was to either make something or learn a skill, something along those lines. I wasn't really paying attention, I'm sorry. But what I did is that I created a game, or at least attempted to. I did my best, alright? I don't have any coding experience, and I procrastinated a lot, so I didn't really get much gameplay done, but I did get some sprites done. So I think that's worth something. Anywho, I begun trying to use Unity for this game. Now originally I wasn't going to use Unity, and I was going to use something called RPG Maker, which is, from what I've heard, really simple to use, really easy, but I checked on Steam and it is $79.99, and I do not have that kind of money on me, so I just went with Unity. Now, like I said before, I'm not that smart when it comes to coding stuff, so when I opened up Unity and figured out that it had it wasn't that new person friendly. I don't know what else to call it, like new coder friendly. It wasn't new coder friendly. So I had to search up a tutorial on YouTube to figure out how to use Unity, and I found this really neat one. I'll put a thumbnail, I'll put the picture of the thumbnail here, maybe a link in the description for it. But I found a really neat tutorial for it. And I was going to continue using Unity, but it was too mind-numbing for me, and I don't think it was the right software for the type of game I wanted, so I scrapped using Unity and was like, hey, let's try Unreal Engine. I was going to use Unreal Engine because it has a more visual sense of coding, rather than just type stuff out and then troubleshoot to see what's the glitch, what are the glitches, and then what's not the glitches, the bugs, whatever you call it. But my computer doesn't have enough space on it because it's more or less a laptop rather than those PCs that you build from scratch like IKEA furniture. So scrap using Unreal Engine, trying to find something else, and oh, what's this? I found an engine called Game Maker Studio 2. Anyhow, I began using the software using a really helpful tutorial on YouTube by this guy named Peyton Burnham. If you want to make a game, I totally recommend using Game Maker Studio, and I totally recommend watching his tutorials on it. I'll link it in the description. Anywho, I had found my software. Time to start coding. And like I said earlier, I did not get much in terms of gameplay done. Like I said earlier, I didn't get much in terms of gameplay done. I've gotten a room set up, I've gotten the main character sprite done, and I got another person's sprite done, but that's about it. I procrastinated a lot, I apologize, but I will explain my idea for this game. The actual, story of it. So you play as an android who's lost its memory, basically, and throughout the game you're trying to find little bits and pieces of its memory drive that is broken and just scattered across the land due to whatever reason. As you go along the journey to find the broken fragments of the memory drive, the robot learns how to be human and how to have an identity. Throughout the game, you gain attributes which relate to being human. The first one you gain being wonder, which allows the robot to actually start questioning things around it. Similar to how a small child learns the word why and now won't stop asking why to literally every question. This continues on until the robot gains sentience, and it gets way more existential from there. Hopefully it does. Next character I have in my notes is another robot called Prototype Overdrive Protocol. Prototype Overdrive Protocol is supposed to be hunting down the main character for whatever reason. And I don't really have the story fleshed out, I just have a bare base skeleton for what I want it to be. So like you got android that wants to be human, and another android that's basically just an android. No brain up in that head. Cannot think. Maybe the reason that it's like so like intent on going after this one robot is because said robot is a escaped like experiment from another dude who created the robots. So now they got this other robot that's sent off to capture this robot, and then eventually this robot's like, hey, I don't want to do this no more, and then joins the protagonist team. I don't know, that's just another idea that's in my bucket of ideas. Another character in my notes that I have is not really a main character, but more or less a supporting character named Adam. His design was a scrapped one that I had for a character a long while ago, but decided to repurpose for this one, and yes, he is a flower, don't question it. He runs a shop in the town that you spawn in, so you can just go there anytime that you're running low on HP or just items in general, buy from his shop, and dandy-doo, you're off to another adventure. The only other character in my notes that I have at the moment is Maxwell, who is a retired astronaut and engineer. He supposedly finds the android you play as in a roughed up state in a dumpster, and he brings him back to his lab. Why am I saying lab like he's a scientist? He brings it back to his house and rewires the robot's brain so the robot can actually, come back to life. Maxwell is, I don't think he'll be appearing a lot in the game, but he will pop up every now and then just to, let you know how you're doing, I guess. Hopefully I've actually been putting up the images of what these characters look like as I've been, describing them. But if I haven't, then, I'll do that now. I don't think I have any other characters at the moment, but if I do, I'll add them post-editing, and it'll be right now. But other than that, that's done at the character section. Overall, the theme of the game is supposed to be what does it mean to have an identity, what does it mean to be human, and just overall, I'm hoping to give the player an existential crisis. That's my goal of making the game. I'm very much inspired by games such as Undertale, Deltarune, One Shot, and Amori. And if I have any other ones I'm inspired by, I'll put it up. I'll put images of them right now. Later on, I'll create side characters that'll help the main character throughout the game. And I have a funny idea in the back of my head that maybe none of them are human, but they're not something as non-human as a robot. So maybe this one's I don't know, a ghost of a person, and that one's I don't know, a living plant or something, and the other one's an alien. They're not inherently human, but they do have a sentience to them. And then meanwhile, this one's just a man-made machine, and they're like, hey buddy, you know what empathy is? It won't be some friendship is magic type stuff though, it'll actually have fighting in it since it's supposed to be an RPG. Fighting as in the party mechanic where, oh, you select this attack, this item. Not a platform, not Hollow Knight. I wish it was Hollow Knight, but it's not a platformer game, it's an RPG. Hopefully I can implement some rhythm game mechanics because I really like rhythm games and music in general. Speaking of music, I have a really funny idea with the music. So, when you start out in the game, the main town theme, when you spawn into the town and you go outside and you hear the music for the first time, I want it to be a, almost an incomplete version of what the theme is supposed to be. Maybe the completed theme has, some good piano in it, maybe, some drums, some violin, maybe some brass, some woodwinds, and then, when you first start out in the game, it's only the piano, and the piano only, because the android's lost its memories, it doesn't know what this place is, and all that other jazz. But as you gain, more of those memory fragments, and you come back to certain areas, the themes of those areas will gain more of their instruments back. I don't know how that'll affect uploading an OST, but I think it's a neat idea. You go back to an area and all of a sudden you hear violin and you've never heard that before, or you come back to it later and, oh my gosh, is that a flute playing? I don't know, I think it's a pretty neat concept. Hopefully you guys think it is too, whoever's looking at this, I don't know, I think music has a lot to do with, just like games in general, because one thing that people recognize games for is their music. Like Hollow Knight, its OST is absolutely beautiful. Pizza Tower, it has really hype music. Or like Amori, it has really sorrowful music towards the end. If you know what I'm referencing, then like you get it. Or like Minecraft. A lot of people know Minecraft. Okay, hear me out. A lot of people recognize Minecraft's music because a lot of them like played the game when they were younger and they heard like Sweden or like Key playing or like Mice on Venus playing, and they recognize that tune. You never notice how much music impacts something until like you've heard it like after playing said game or after you've experienced something. Like I said, I think this is a really neat concept. Hopefully I'll actually like complete it in the future because I am planning on continuing this game, and I want to upload it and I want to like put it on Steam for other people to enjoy, maybe with a price so I can actually get money out of it. I don't know. Game making is very, very weird since it's also pretty difficult. I commend people who have I commend game designers and game creators. I commend game designers because it is very, very difficult to make a game now that I like experienced the horrors of Unity, and I refuse to touch JavaScript for the life of me. Honestly, from what I've heard from other videos talking about making a game, if you think a game is going to take 2 years to make, it's going to take 4. It's always going to take double or even more of the time of what you think it's going to take. So if I think I'm gonna get this done by like the end of high school, then it's gonna take like 8 years to make, so hopefully I do actually get it done though, and I really hope that it's really good with people, because I don't want to spend 8 years on a game but then have it not be noticed at all, or worse, have it and be noticed but it's absolute like dog crap. I apologize, this video is extremely scuffed. My audio probably isn't really that good. I'm not using a microphone at all. I have a blanket over my head, and I'm talking into my computer's built-in microphone, which is on the side of it, so yeah, this isn't the greatest of quality. That was my insane rant on what I did for my project, or what I'm hoping to continue doing for, hopefully until the end of high school. Because I doubt I'm gonna get it done while I'm still in school, but yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. I'm very bad at ending transitions, so yeah.